What's up, Lash fam? Welcome back, you guys, to episode number 2 of Truly Me. Today, you guys, we're going to be talking about how to stay successful in the lash industry, how I became successful, and just kind of a little bit of encouragement for you guys. Before we jump in, though, remember, Lash fam, that we are going to the beauty experience this June. And we have a booth there, and we'd love to see you guys there, so make sure you guys stop by to see us. We're also doing trainings. We have group volume trainings coming up in New York, Chicago, Scottsdale, Arizona, and LA. So make sure you guys check out our website to find out the details on all of those trainings. Well, let's jump into this podcast. I'm excited about this one because I get a lot of questions about how I got to where I got, how I started LBK, the product line, and things like that. But you want to start with the basics. So the first thing, obviously, is you become a lash artist, and you want to really excel, I think, in that first, and really understand your products, what products you really like to work with, and just become really great at your craft with lashing. And so for me, I never had any intentions of creating a lash line or anything turning into what it turned into. It really, truly was just God on my side, I think. But I became a lash artist, and I did that for a while. And then I started working with brands and different products, and I mastered my craft. But there were certain products that I liked, but there was issues with them, and I couldn't really find a consistent product that I loved. And so that's when I decided, okay, maybe I'll try and make my own brand. And I had no idea everybody else would love my brand and that it would turn into what it's turned into. But at the time, in finding a distributor and finding product that you really love, that all takes a lot of time and effort, more so just time. You know, you have to test a lot of product. You have to figure out what is right, because you don't want to put out just any product out there. You want to really make sure it's something that you love, that you would use on a daily basis. So for a year and a half, I tested product back and forth. And then finally, I found a product that I liked, and that was my first product, which was our Easy Fan Lashes. And I had no intentions of actually expanding the brand. I really was just going to keep it just that one product. And then I realized that not everybody uses Easy Fan Lashes, and people also use adhesives and tweezers and all these other things. And so that's when I decided to kind of expand the brand. But before you get to that point, I think it's really important that you don't lose track, or actually that you don't focus so much on what other people are doing. And I think that's something that a lot of girls do in the industry, is they focus on girls that are at a different point in their journey than you are at. So it's really important, girls, to just focus on yourself. What I did, and what helped me a lot, I think, in the beginning, was I didn't follow any other lash artists. Like, I made sure that there was no other lash artists on my feed, especially girls that were better than me. And I did that because I didn't want to look at that and get discouraged or think that I wasn't as good. And then for me, it was more of like keeping me on track of just focusing on myself and where I was at. Lashing is hard, and it's not something that is easy, and there's a misconception that a lot of girls just think that lashing is easy and they'll do it as a part-time job. But to really be successful and to take it seriously, you have to practice all the time, every single day. I tell my trainees that come in to practice for 30 minutes to an hour a day, whether that's on someone or you're on your mannequin head. You have to stay consistent. You can take a class, you can walk away from that class and never pick up a tweezer or lashes again, and you're not going to be where you want to be. You have to do it every single day. And it's just practice. But comparing yourself to someone who's been doing it for years is really unhealthy. It makes you think that you're not as good, and that can be for anything in life, not just lashing. So I think it's important just to focus on yourself. Take lash courses, be around people that encourage you, things like that. Luckily, I have a great support system, and I was able to really follow my dream with LBK and creating it into something bigger than what I had ever imagined it to be. So It is possible for everyone to get to this point. I think it's a matter of wanting it and not wanting it, and having that drive, to stay up late, to work those extra hours. Um, and I think something that really helped me, kind of maybe get ahead is consistency. And not just in my lashing, but in my activity, like on Instagram. It's so important to stay active. I noticed, like, if I would not stay active for like a couple days, people start to lose interest. They don't take you as seriously. So being overly active, like if you've followed me for a long time, you'll notice that I post like a lot, especially on my story, not so much on my page and my feed, but my story. I'm constantly posting throughout the day, throughout the night. And that's really important because people like to see that. They want, the more you see something, the more interested you get in it. And so if you're a lash artist and you're not consistent in your posts, I encourage you to really start taking a lot more photos, videos, and taking good photos and videos too. That's another thing. Your work shows. Think of Instagram now as like the newspaper back then. Like Instagram is free advertisement, and it's kind of like your portfolio. When someone asks about, what work do you do? And this could be for tattoo artists, this could be for, lashing brows, any kind of work that you do, the first place people go is to your Instagram. Like, oh, let me look at you on Instagram to see what kind of work you do. So, and I talk about this a lot in my trainings, and I tell girls all the time, not every post or picture is post worthy. Like, you want to really post the stuff that is really good. Like, not every set you're going to love, and not every set is going to be worth posting. So post the stuff that you're really proud of or that you really like, and not so much every single set you do. I think it's quality over quantity is like really what you want to do. So taking good pictures, having good lighting. People ask me all the time, what kind of what do I take my photos off of? I just use my iPhone, but I really get really close to the client's face, and I use a lot of lighting, like blind them. Pictures are huge, guys, so just focus on your work and what you're doing, and don't get kind of lost in the lash industry and all the things that are going on in it. Just take it day by day and do the best that you can. And that kind of brings me to timing. Timing is something that girls are so pressured to have done. Have a volume set done in 2 hours, or do a classic set in 1 hour. And there's some girls that work for these salons that make them, like, I know, like, I've trained some girls that have worked at Amazing Lash Studio, and they literally make them stop at a certain point. Whether they're done or not, they have to stop at that point. And that really limits a lash artist to what they can create. That's like putting, limits on, oh shoot. That puts limits on their, you guys are artists, right? So we have to have time. We have to see what we're doing, and we're creating a look. And so to put a time on it really stops you from being what you can be. And so that's why when I would lash 2 to 3 people a day max, and I would spend 3 to 4 hours on that one person, because it was more important for me to finish a whole set rather than go through a bunch of clients every day just to make the money. So when you do it this way, you can take less clients and make more money than to take a bunch of clients and make them that money that way. So you got to kind of see and figure out which is better for you. For me, I would rather take less clients and make more money, because then you can charge more because you're doing better work. And it really shows in your work, honestly, when you take the time, to make sure every set is perfect, to make sure you've lashed 100% of those lashes, rather than just having a limit to what you can do. And so that's something that I also encourage everyone to try and do, is to lash 100% of the lashes. Take your time. Don't worry about time. Timing is something that's going to come with time. So the more you lash, the faster you get. The more you lash, the more consistent you get. And that's all I can say. So just focus on that. That's important. People ask me or send me a DM all the time, how long does it take you to do a classic set? How long did it take you to do a volume set? I will always take a 4-hour period. And so I'll book out for 4 hours for one person. And that gives me enough time to either do a fill, do a full set, whatever I need to do in those 4 hours. I know that I don't have another client coming to where I'm going to be stressed out, and then I work a little faster and then I mess up. And so I just block out enough time to make sure that, you know, I can get done what I need to get done. And then I love that set. And that's something also, like, when my clients would come in, they knew, okay, I'm going to be here a little bit longer, but they knew that they were getting 100% of my attention, my work, everything was going to be a lot better than just going in and getting out in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, you know, going in for fills. So try to really focus on your craft and mastering it and understanding that, yeah, I work slower, but my work is better. So focus on that. After I built my clientele, and I started posting a lot, I started gaining a following. And so just stay super consistent in your work and posting the work that you like and things like that. And then you'll grow organically, because we don't want to grow or buy followers or things like that. We really you want to grow organically so that people who are watching your stuff actually care about your stuff. And then when you decide to start a brand, you have a foundation that follows you, that likes your work. And I think that's what really helped me with my brand, was I already had that following. And so people already were drawn to what I was doing. They liked my work. And so I brought out these products, and people that were following me already wanted to buy the products that I was using. And so it's an organic thing. And so if you are looking to start a brand, or if you're just looking to grow in just lashing, focus on your following, what you're doing, your work, and putting out good stuff, because it's always going to come back to you full circle. But that's all I want to say, you guys. I really hope that this helped you. The lash industry is super saturated. There's a lot going on. There's so much room to grow in it. So just focus on what you're doing. And if you set a goal, make sure you guys follow through with it, because everything is possible. Anything is possible. You guys can definitely succeed and make a lot of money in lashing. It's all about your consistency and how much you want it, and putting out that to the universe and watching it come back to you guys. But I love you. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, send this to someone if you feel like it would be helpful. We are going to be putting out a ton of content for you guys. Drop a comment down below if you guys have any suggestions on any podcast you guys want to listen to or hear from me. I love you, and we will be back next week.